Hi guys, how's it going? Leanne Holitza here with your weekly Oracle check-in. Hope you all are doing well and you are finding me here on the internet. We are going to do some yantra deck, which is going to start us off with the week, and then we're going to use Colette Bear Reed's about the Lordo, the Shaman's Dream Oracle. What I am just going to wait for just a minute here for you guys to find me. I see that you are, which is awesome. It's almost December, you guys. I mean, geez, that's crazy. So just a couple announcements about the end of the year. There's one last guides group reading. There's normally only a few spots in that just because I try to make it so you guys can all get a reading. So I don't have a lot of people, a lot of spots for that event. We have just 3 more sound baths, and intentions and affirmations for 2026. The beginning of it is coming up. That actually has a virtual option and an in person. If you want to work on setting your intentions and affirmations, you might check that out. So that's kind of the goings on. I am seeing a lot of me pleases, so let's get started. I am Leanne Holitza. I am an energy healer and an oracle card reader out of the Healing Studio in Brimfield, Colorado. And I'm going to give you a personal card with the Shaman's Dream, and we'll check in with the week first. So this is going to be our collective reading first, and then we'll go from there. All right. So the beginning of the week starts off with gratitude and seeing the gifts of things. Okay. So give yourself an opportunity to really do the 5-thing gratitude thing. Journal 5 things that you're grateful about. Include yourself. What are you grateful about yourself? Okay. Your helper card. Ooh, compassion, embracing all beings, compassionate witness without judgment. That doesn't mean you have to say yes to everything that's going on, but it also doesn't mean that you have to wear all of the stuff. You can have a compassionate witness and also create boundaries. Okay. All right. And then the end of the week. Wow, this week seems to be pretty promising, you guys. It'll be some receiving of blessings. Things will start to work out in our favor. And we'll be, if as long as we are in that gratitude space and that compassionate witness, we'll be able to receive. All right. That sounds like good news that we needed. Let's start with our 1, 2, 3s. Okay. So this is your first personal card. Okay. So if you're watching live, thanks for watching live. Thanks for typing me, please, in the comments. I'll get you a card. And this is also your first card. So this builds on what we just saw. And it gives you a start of your personal reading. If you're watching this later, this is also how to get your first card. All right. And the rules, you guys, if we get 3 cards in the me pleases, that'll be 3rd time's a charm, means it's for all of us. Okay. So fill in 1, 2, or 3. Okay. So just take your heart center and just for a minute, which number resonates most for you? Okay, if you picked 1, you're working with stars in the sky, limitless possibilities. Okay, so this is where you're going to let yourself really zoom out, let yourself see the possibilities of the bigger picture, and give yourself an opportunity to feel, where your own limitations are and what you can move past as far as, your mindset. If you picked 2, you're working with transpersonal, okay? The watchers. Back to that compassionate witness, you guys. This is all about us and not about us at all, right? And this card is basically reminding you to zoom out and be a compassionate witness while recognizing everybody and is you and you are everybody, okay? And then if you picked 3, you're working with Fool's Embrace, which is you're transmuting pain by holding on to it. But it's also when it's the Fool's Embrace, it's like, what stories are you telling yourself? How are you perpetuating your own suffering by hanging on to painful stories? Okay, let's get going. The top of the list here is Kimberly S. Hi, Kimberly. All right, here we go. Ready? Kimberly? You're working with the drifter. Okay, so experiencing life as it comes. Now, to some degree, you've got your sails up and you are pointing them into a certain direction, but you're kind of trying to do this dance with it where you're going to let the sails carry you forward, and sometimes maybe you have to shift directions to utilize the wind, but you're being skillful in your flexibility. Okay, so that's really what that is this week. Kalina, you're working with the sky bridge. Okay, so this is possibility for union. This could be union with yourself and your higher self. This could be with another person. It could be cooperative people and things coming into your space. Yeah, so giving yourself a chance to be open to connection. Miranda Z. Uh-oh, lost in space. Needing a little direction this week, okay? So this is definitely a week for you to ground yourself. However you like to do it, if you like to go outside and be barefoot, if you like to hug a tree, or just picture those roots growing out of you, whatever you would like to do. But this is basically saying that your guidance is trying to give you some direction and getting that all the way in the body so you can hear it, okay? All right, Denise S. You've got a me talks. Okay. So repairing the mind, body, and spirit. This is basically getting back to focusing on your own problems, your own situations, letting go of other people's issues. They're not yours to worry about right now. Okay. So this week, just focus on yourself. Catherine S. You're working with the Joyful Muse. Okay. So just some inspiration, having some fun, being silly, playing some music that changes your mood, that kind of stuff. All right. Lisa, your focus this week, Lisa C. Oh, Skybridge, second time we've seen it. Possibilities for a union. So being open to connections, networking, being open to what is it that you're trying to create, and who else can you cast your net out to? Okay. National Geographic. Oh, second time we've seen the Joyful Muse too. All right, a little bit of just playfulness. Who's inspiring you right now? Who's giving you a little bit of an uplifted heart? Just give yourself time to look into that and see. All right, Melissa and Shannon. Melissa, you've got the wailing tree this week, okay? So reconciliation mostly with yourself. This is a good time to just realize that there's a lot of things that have hurt your feelings over the course of whatever, and it's okay to kind of just reconcile with yourself what's happened and have your own back about it. You don't have to be over it any faster than you're ready to be over it. Okay. Okay, Shannon, if you picked one at the beginning, they're double down, stars in the sky, limitless possibilities. Okay. So, really zooming out, letting yourself see what else is possible, and just kind of try to play with the synchronicities a bit more when something's getting brought to you. Don't dismiss it as just coincidence. See it as a potential message from the universe. Diane S., you are working with the eyes of the eagle. So, rising above the fray. Zoom out, see what you can see, give yourself a chance to come up and out of everybody else's drama. Just because they're having drama doesn't mean it's yours, doesn't mean you have to get into it with them, even if they're people who are close to you. Now, I can say that, but pot calling the kettle. Okay. Robin, Chris, and Austin. Oh, and Jordan. Okay, Robin. Lay of the land. Okay, so ancestral wisdom. So this has been an interesting kind of message of like, don't throw away the past completely. There's wisdom from that past energy that you maybe want to bring in. Go back and kind of research your roots, research your, some of the ancestral information that got you to survive up until this point, and see if you can employ it. But also letting go of the stuff that doesn't serve you or needs updated. Chris, you're working with crown games. So the right use of power. So just be aware that there can be some manipulation that happens when somebody's manipulating ideas or the angle that they come at. I'm feeling like debatey energy. So where everybody's got taking a side, and the side, no side is truly 100% wrong. So with that, there's like, some valid points on everybody's side. Okay. So just give yourself awareness to that this week. Austin, you're bringing Joyful Muse for a third time's a charm for us. Okay. Woohoo. So that means we all get to do some joyful musing. And I'm going to grab the book and see what Colette has to say about this, just to give us a little bit more information. The Joyful Muse invites you to be more playful, have more fun, more myrrh and joy in your life. If you become boring to yourself, even as others continue to find you interesting, circumstances have dulled your edge and it's time for change. Not the thing around you, but your attitude. Blow a morning kiss to yourself in the mirror, smile to a stranger, wink to a child, be mildly but elegantly inappropriate. I love that. Mildly but elegantly inappropriate. All right, that's for all of us. So thank you, Austin, for bringing that through. Jordan, you're working with the horned cactus, okay? So this is about being resourceful. The cactus can survive long droughts because it's resourceful with how it uses its energy, and it handles itself very carefully in times of lack or withdrawal, okay? So it's just letting yourself know you can do it no matter what. Heidi M. In the hand, the universe is your partner. Okay. So this is about surrender. This is about letting go of things that are not yours to do. Hiring the right people, I'm hearing, resourcing yourself. The people who know how to do it, like to do it. They're more likely to get energy out of doing it, and rather than you just grinding and trying to do it all yourself. Okay. Cara and Tatiana. Cara, you've got a magician's sword this week. So confidence in your own magic, okay? Confidence in your own intuition and your own ability to manifest. And, just surrender to the fact that you are very magical. And not everybody's going to say thank you to that, but that's okay. Okay? Because the magic that you possess is for you, not for everyone else. Tatiana, you are working with the fortune's wheel. Luck and right timing for you this week, okay? So it's a lucky week. Have fun with the lucky week. That sounds awesome. All right. Kelly and Matthew. Kelly? Jeweled web of connectivity, okay? So you are working with your energy of casting the net, seeing where you're connected. Also, just remembering people from your past, I'm hearing from your guides, okay? So people who can connect you that maybe you forgot about. Matthew, you've got overflow and overwhelm and plenty, okay? So this can feel like you have a lot going on and it's almost too much going on, right? So it's okay. Just let yourself feel resourced in that and give yourself a minute to just breathe in the overwhelm and plenty. Okay. Lori E. You've got dances on one foot. Now, sometimes if you're like totally feeling like you're trying to balance, it can feel a little bit overwhelming, but she's doing it very skillfully and she's doing it very very much just for herself, if that makes sense. So just find balance this week as best that you can, and maybe realize that it's just inward focus that you need to keep that balance because the external world is too chaotic right now. Kimberly P. and Juan Carlos. Kimberly, you've got Willow the Wisp, treasures hidden in the shadows. Okay, so look in the shadows, do some shadow work on yourself, give yourself a moment to see if you can find that piece of you that wants to be seen, but you're not letting yourself see it, and kind of like allow that to happen in others as well. Okay. Juan Carlos, you've got a deep quiet. So meditation and stillness for you this week. A little bit going into a space where you are letting your energy, find a stillness that maybe it doesn't normally find. Just a little bit of a deeper stillness. Alexis B. and Travis. Alexis, Will o' the Wisp for you too. So hidden treasures in the shadow. When they come together close like that, that's typically because there's more to say. It's like Dark Night of the Souls, sometimes the biggest healing opportunity. Sometimes when you're feeling really shadowy, that's when it's time to kind of do the work and put yourself in a kind of moment of contemplation. Okay. Travis. Magician's sword for you. Okay, so confidence in your magic, confidence in your skills, using that confidence to help lead this week. Okay, so don't underestimate how something that comes easy to you is not necessarily easy to everyone else. Okay, and it's okay that it comes easy to you and that you share it and get praised for it, even if you think it's no big deal. Christy, Lisa, and Kira. Christy, you got the whale song. So what are you resonating with? How can you work with your water? How can you work with your energy field? Giving yourself a chance to really settle in to, whatever's happening around you, and maybe even program some crystals to hold space, program your water as you drink it, all that stuff. Okay, fourth time's a charm for this one. So Lisa, you got Joyful Muse, but this is really now for all of us. I'm going to pull the book back out, you guys. Read a little bit more. The Joyful Muse is a source of inspiration, a wild and disruptive feminine force that compels you to invite more pleasure and delight into your life. Give yourself permission to be mischievous and find the humor in the tragedy while careful not to become frivolous. The power of this muse will shake up everyone around you and invite you to create beauty and grace out of the pain and tragedy you perceive in the area of your life. Ooh. Okay, so Joyful Muse for all of us, but in particularly Lisa. Kira, you're going to work with the crossing. Okay, so some initiation energy. Time to really recognize that you're entering into a kind of a new phase, a phase of beginnings and endings that maybe isn't quite clear yet, but it's going to be really clear pretty soon. So just feel the crossing of that this week, whatever that feels like. All right, Sam, you're working with stranger curiosity. Okay. Being willing to not know, be willing to not define even yourself and other people. Like, be willing to see that you might be something different than what you have been. I really kind of get that there's this energy of like getting to know yourself more in a different way. Like, if you've always told yourself you're bad at art, and then you go take this art class that makes it look like you know what you're doing, and all of a sudden now you're not bad at art. You just thought you were, kind of thing. Okay. All right, Janelle and Donnie. Janelle. You got some sacred contract work to do this week, okay? So these are often played out in relationships that are actually kind of difficult, okay? So giving yourself an awareness that your most prominent healers in your life are the ones who make you the most annoyed, okay? Taking an opportunity to let yourself see that. Just ask, what is the contract? What's the lesson? Donnie, you're working with radical acceptance. Okay, so really just accepting yourself, accepting the situation, accepting your life, accepting that no matter what it is what it is, and that's actually okay. Janice, sister of Janelle, you're bringing us Third Time's a Charm, the Sky Bridge. Possibility for union. Let's pull the book out. Let's see what Colette Baron-Reid says. All right. What needs to be connected or disconnected? You're standing for seemingly unbreachable abyss where there's no possibility of retreat. The path behind you is no longer a viable option. You have to act soon, though, or you will run the risk of being stuck in the edge of a cliff. Ooh, that sounds like a lot. All right, so that's for all of us, you guys. Act on those connections. Act on those networks. Tanya B., Garden of Venus for you. Okay, so rest and renewal wherever you can. Kind of acknowledging pleasure just for pleasure's sake. Okay, just for fun. All right, Joe, you made it on. I'm seeing this. Let's see what your card says. For you, this week is a deep, quiet week. Meditation and stillness, giving yourself a chance to really find that you are sinking into a place where you can find inside yourself that stillness, that quiet. I think I told you guys that we are introducing somatic stretching type classes to the mix. We had a couple of 4-week workshops, and then we're doing like once a week lunchtime breaks starting in January. And I took that class and didn't realize that even though I do the meditations and I do the stillness and I do all the things, there is a part of my nervous system that's still super cranked. And that was very interesting to discover you could turn it down and what it would feel like. Anyway, just work on your somatic system is my point. All right, I'm going to throw a card for my husband. If you're still hanging out, you guys, and you haven't asked for a card, you just type me, please, in the comments, and I'll get you a card. But let's see if my husband brings a third time's a charm. Nope, but Eyes of the Eagle, rising above the fray. So zooming out, noticing what you can see from above, noticing what you can see if you actually ask questions, and give yourself an opportunity to find out more. Yeah, so zooming out. All right, you guys. Well, we might have come to the end. I'm kind of wanting to know, let's see. I'm going to throw a yantra card for the kind of assistance of the joyful muse and the partnership spot. Okay, so we've got be playful and create connections, or you get stuck on the edge of a cliff. Ah. Oh, Hannah, hi. I'll get you a card for sure. But let me just real quick throw a yantra card about this. Okay, so this is about our intuition. Okay, so when we laugh and we giggle and we play and we're uplifted, that makes us feel more joyful, more connected to our intuition, and will let us see what right unions are instead of just doing it just because. Okay, all right, Hannah, coming at you. Let's see if you bring us another one, another third time's a charm. Nope, but still a good one. Unmarked trail. Revelation for you, okay? You're going on a path that maybe doesn't make sense to anybody, not even you, and it's okay. It doesn't have to have all, you don't have to follow all of the rules just because the rules have been followed by others, right? Sometimes the rules are made for them, not you, okay? All right, Stephanie R. Caught me just in time. I was going to end a little early here, but let's see. Stephanie, you are threading the needle this week, okay? So you're working with your intention and staying really focused on what the goal is and not get distracted by the things that might want your attention instead, okay? All right. Anybody else hanging out there? Anybody else need a card for the week? All right, we're done with the shaman's dream. I will see you guys next week. Go be amazing.